hazing among African Americans, fraternities, and sororities. We're going to talk about that serious subject when I come back. This is Rob Bell, and this is Rob's Rant. I was listening to Ricky Smiley this morning on the Ricky Smiley Show, and there was a report that came across his, news desk about an African-American fraternity who was caught hazing one of their pledgees. And as a result, that pledgee had to go to the hospital, and I'm sure there will be some indictments among those brothers in that fraternity. I won't name the fraternity because it's just alleged at this particular time. But I will talk about pledging versus hazing. I like Ricky Smiley, and one of the things that he did was kind of stand out or stand up or stand against hazing. Ricky Smiley is one of my fraternity brothers. He is a brother of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, as am I. And we have the reputation as a fraternity of being one of the frats that really put it in when it comes to hazing. You know, and that is our reputation. And I know when I pledged some 39 years ago, I've been a Q for 39 years, most definitely I got hazed every day for 12 weeks. And it was no joke. And I guess the ideology at that particular time is because you were pledging one of the toughest fraternities of all fraternities in the African American fraternity, sorority, Pan-Atlantic kind of atmosphere. You got to be tough to be a Q. And at that time, I bought into that. And the result was I had an opportunity to cross those burning sands, and today I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi. But as I look back on that, that was crazy because it wasn't all about hazing. It should have been all about the brotherhood, and it should have been all about the principles of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift, which is our 4 cardinal principles. And, you know, we should have really honed in on that as opposed to beating people up, basically, and trying to find out how tough a person was based on your ability to accept that. And that's not pledging, that's hazing. You know, there are a lot of good things that happened during my pledge process, you know, that we did in terms of things that we did for the community, and in terms of things that we did on campus, and things that we did to uphold the image of the community or of the fraternity, that were and should have been accentuated over hazing. And obviously hazing was an underground thing. Anytime we were on the surface or on the yard, students on the campus barely saw us being hazed. Maybe a smack here and there, but not as crazy as it was when we went behind closed doors. And so moving forward and coming up into today's age, there are a lot of fraternities, black and white, and sororities that are under the gun for the hazing of their pledgees. Some pledgees have died. Some pledges have been severely injured. And as a result, some fraternities have been ostracized from their respective campuses and thrown out. Some brothers of respective fraternities have been indicted, and some have gone to jail. And, you know, that's the real deal. If you want to be a part of a fraternity, and I use my fraternity because I can't speak for anybody else's, and I won't speak for anybody else's. I think, as a brother of this fraternity that I love, it should be about wanting to be a part of prestige. It should be about wanting to be a part of tradition. You know, our fraternity is over 100 years old, and we continue to pledge people into our fraternities. We are worldwide, and that's nothing to sneeze at. You should want to be a part of something, to me, as magnificent as that. And getting beat up to get into the fraternity is just totally ridiculous. We live in a different age today. You know, it should be about attracting men of honor. It should be about attracting men of intelligence. Our four founders were men of honor. They were men of intelligence. They were men who decided that because they were not going to be accepted into white fraternities, that they were going to formulate an African-American fraternities. And they were men of honor. They were men of scholar. They were great men. And I'm sure that they are turning in their grave knowing that men who are coming into the fraternity are being beat up to come into the fraternity. And I know a lot of frat brothers ain't going to like what I'm saying. But guess what? I don't care. Because I'm an old head Q. And I don't believe in it. And although I did get hazed, I don't believe in hazing the young brothers who are now coming into the fraternity or any other fraternity. That's not the way to bring people into an organization. It should be, again, about honor, integrity, scholarship, and paving the way and being an example for other people who might want to get into the fraternity and other people who are looking at the fraternity from the outside. You know, we have the reputation of being dogs. You know, when people look at that, they're like, oh, those Q dogs, they're awful. And I got to tell you, there are a lot of prominent and famous Omega Psi Phi men who don't emulate that whole dog image. I like to say that I'm one of them. You know, I'm proud to be a Q, but not because of the way I was hazed and not because of the way I was beat up, but because of the honor of being in the fraternity that four men started who were smart, who were gifted, who contributed to American society, and who gave back. And that's the legacy that I was attracted to. And that's the legacy that I'd like to see my fraternity be a part of. So I commend Brother Ricky Smiley for speaking up against hazing. I'll leave you with this. And one of the things that he said in the latter part of his conversation was, because we live in a different time, sometimes, or at one point, you're going to haze one person too many. And you're going to find yourself on the end of a lawsuit and jail time. And even worse, you're going to find yourself on the end of somebody going out to their car and going into their trunk and coming back with a weapon and killing everybody that hazed them. And if you don't think that's real, start looking at the newspaper. Tighten up, brothers, sisters. Hazing ain't the way. It's about bringing people into your organizations and making them understand that it's about honor. This is Rob Bell, and this is Rob's Rant.